we have a Defensive Player of the Year draft, and we are up against it. We've got 9 picks to make. I'm going to give Peter the first pick, then Chris, then me. Let's see if we can get all 3 rounds in. Defensive Player of the Year for 2020. First on the clock is Peter King. Go.
I'm taking Aaron Donald, and that's the easiest pick in history. Chris, go ahead.
It is. I was going to say, and I didn't get a chance, I was like, can we just take Aaron Donald off this draft? This should be the Aaron Donald Memorial Draft for what he does. Okay. I'm going to go with Nick Bosa next. All right. 49ers off their edge. We know that defense is good. I expect them to be good. I'll go with Nick Bosa.
Yeah, I'm going to go with T.J. Watt. His brother J.J. said yesterday, I'll consider him my peer when he wins a Defensive Player of the Year award. Maybe that's the extra kick in the pants T.J. needs to get over the top. He was in the conversation last year. I'll take T.J. Watt.
Ooh.
Give me Khalil Mack as my next pick, and I'll give you one very good reason. Someone who knows Khalil Mack, who used to play with him in Oakland, told me this offseason, said he doesn't like being forgotten about, And so I think he comes back with a vengeance after playing hurt most of last year. If we have a pool for NFL sack leader, the last 2 guys we've mentioned, Mack and Watt, would have to be at the top.
Yeah, definitely. Mack is just a marquee, unbelievable football player. Better than the stats say. And you're right, Akeem Hicks wasn't there last year. He was banged up. I'd watch out for Khalil Mack, too. All right, my next one, I'm going to go with the biggest trade of the offseason. I'm going with Jamal Adams. Seattle, if they somehow won the NFC West, or, we're one of the top defenses in football and he's got a bunch of interceptions and sacks and forced fumbles, I think he is the perfect storm of that guy who could end up being that Troy Polamalu defensive MVP at the safety position.
I'm amazed that this guy is still available at the bottom of round 2 because last year he was Chris Simms' odds-on favorite for Defensive Player of the Year, and that's Myles Garrett of the Browns. Gone and forgotten because of that suspension after whacking Mason Rudolph over the head with his own helmet. He's back. He's motivated. He's paid. He's got help around him. He's got a new head coach who actually is suited to be a head coach, unlike last year's head coach. All due respect to Freddie Kitchens. But I think Myles Garrett is the guy to get it done this year. And I'm amazed, Chris, that you didn't take him with either of your first 2 picks.
No, I know. You know what? It was more about, again, just like we always talk about, they're a little unknown there in Cleveland. I don't know what to expect from the team. So I think what we're seeing so far is we're all picking players for the most part, other than that one, where the team is good and we feel like it could work out. I guess, but he's on my list, my point is. All right, so go ahead. You're up, Peter.
My third one is going to be Alden Smith.
Wow.
And, wow. I got about 10 emails yesterday when I listed him as the number 4 person on my list as the possible Defensive Player of the Year. And look, this is one of these absolutely, shooting a 3 from 50 feet at halftime. Because everything about Alden Smith.
No. Yeah. This is you were with the Doobie Brothers and you smoked a doobie. That's what it is.
Yes. Hey, how did you know, Mike?
I don't know. I got a little bird that told me.
The biggest thing about Alden Smith, and I'm doing something in my NFL Game Pass thing with him this week, do we remember how great he was when he was not on alcohol or drugs or whatever it is that ruined his career? Do we remember how great he was? He was unbelievably good. And to me, I just think at age 30, he's ridiculously motivated. By the way, running a 40, the same speed he ran it in when he was 23 years old. I think he's tremendously motivated to be great this year. And believe me, Mike McCarthy in Dallas is going to give him a chance to be great.
Yeah, listen, I'll call if that ends up being right, I'll call you the Oracle for the rest of the year, okay? I'm not even going to call you Peter. I'm just going to call you Oracle King, okay? But that would be an unbelievable story. And you're right. When he was back in his prime before issues, like, holy cow, he was a force to be reckoned with. All right, come on. Tampa's the team they're the flavor of the month, the team of the month. If the Buccaneers do good and Brady has success and Shaq Barrett does what he did last year If he doesn't win defensive MVP, then that'll be a crime. I mean, he's the least talked about 19.5 sack edge rusher I've ever heard of in my life. I mean, truly, he was phenomenal in points last year. So, that's another one. I just think if it lines up right, the team's successful, and he puts that statistical number out there like he did last year, it'd be hard not to vote for him.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, if this Buccaneers offense really fires on all cylinders and they build leads, what happens?
Exactly.
The proverbial pinning of the ears back,
right,
and off they go. And Barrett on that franchise tag, every reason to play as effectively as he did last year. He was actually the PFT Defensive Player of the Year, not that anybody cares about that. All right, last pick, and I'm a little nervous about this because he's got a tweak, and I'm going to trust Mike Zimmer that it's simply a tweak and nothing more. But you put Yannick Ngakoue across from Danielle Hunter, the guy whose name Chris has finally figured out how to pronounce. Danielle Hunter is going to be a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year.
He goes with his team.
He's going to rack
He goes
up
with
sacks.
his squad in the last pick. Shocker. He picked a Viking.
Who else? Anybody we missed? Peter, who else did you have on your list?
I got 3 of my 4, so I'm pretty happy.
Wow, good thing we didn't steal some of those. I wish I would have done that so I could have seen you stumble over these.
How about this one? And I love a good story. What about Davian Clowney becoming Defensive Player of the Year, showing up in Tennessee a week before the start of the season, and off we goes? How about that?
Never had a double-digit sack year.
We didn't even talk about the guy who won Defensive Player last year, just to let everybody know. I mean, Stefan Gilmore would be somebody that we probably should have drafted. There's a few other guys.
Well, now he's got motivation for this year.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.